So I was diagnosed with ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, at 14, the summer before my freshman year of high school. And I underwent 2 years of chemotherapy from 14 to 16 during my freshman and sophomore years of high school. It presented in my case as bronchitis, and I was on a teen tour traveling around the country, and my parents just knew that whatever was going on was not normal. And I happened to be in Montana at the time. So my dad had to fly out to Montana to come and bring me home. And the next day I was in my pediatrician's office getting blood drawn. And then 2 hours later, I was meeting with an oncologist who was doing a spinal tap. And my parents and the doctor went into a door, closed it, had a little meeting, and I sat in the hall with my book and summer reading. And a half hour later, they came in and brought it back to me and, told me what was going on. And they asked me if I had any questions. And I just looked at them and said, so when am I going to start to lose my hair? And my doctor and my oncologist my oncologist and my parents all just looked at me and said, how do you know that? I said, I read about it in the Babysitter's Club book. There was one of the babysitters babysat a girl who had leukemia, and she was bald. And my doctor and my parents just looked and said, all right, so we're not dealing with a normal teenager here. So I underwent chemotherapy during my freshman, sophomore, and a little into my junior years. I still graduated on time and went to a top university. And then I got into a program at Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York City that is specifically designed to follow the lives and health of adult survivors of childhood cancers, to see how they're doing long-term and what potential side effects they may have emotionally, physically, and basically track their lives, to sort of change around current treatment protocols based on what they're seeing. And now they're starting to see a lot of teenagers who had one particular chemotherapy called Cytoxin in the 1990s, who now in their 20s, 30s, and 40s are starting to develop very aggressive secondary cancers as a result of receiving that one chemotherapy. In the men, it tends to be testicular cancers and melanomas. And in the women, it tends to be breast and ovarian, because especially when you're going through chemotherapy during the end stages of puberty, when your cells are still rapidly dividing, and women, unlike men, are born with all of their eggs and reproductive organs, while men's sperm are constantly changing. So when a teenager or even a girl goes through chemotherapy, her potential future babies go through it also. So they're starting to do a lot of testing on females who had chemotherapy to see if there are any reproductive issues there.